Hey there, welcome to the Dark Psychology World channel, your go-to place for expanding your mind. This channel is all about growth, especially for those in sales. The key to being a successful salesperson? Understanding what's ticking in your customer's mind and then reaching out to their heart. Today, we're diving into the psychology of sales. We'll explore how simple psychological principles can boost your persuasive power, making customers eager to buy your product. First up, let's talk about reciprocity. Ever heard of the famous American Professor Reagan? He conducted an interesting experiment on reciprocity. He invited participants to appreciate art and rate some portraits. His assistant, George, was part of the experiment. During a break, George stepped out for a few minutes. He returned with a bottle of Coke for one group of participants. The other group? They got nothing. After the portrait rating, George asked the participants for a favor. He was selling lottery tickets and hoped they'd buy some. Guess what? The group that received the Coke bought twice as many tickets as the group that didn't. This is the principle of reciprocity. It's the idea that we tend to respond in kind to the actions of others. In society, those who take favors without giving anything back are seen as undesirable. Salespeople often use this principle. They'll offer a favor to a customer before closing a deal, making the customer feel indebted. This significantly boosts sales. Think about the free samples at supermarkets, skincare counters, or the free for a week strategy used in direct marketing. The saying goes, short favors make for long friends. Give your customer a taste of the sweet life and they'll naturally want to return the favor by buying from you. That's the simple yet powerful principle of reciprocity. Next up, let's dive into the world of comparison and contrast. We humans are a comparative bunch. Think about it. You eat a piece of candy and then bite into an orange. Suddenly, that orange tastes super sour. Or you lift a light object and then a heavy one. That heavy object feels even heavier, right? We're always comparing, and it influences our decisions. We think we're making rational choices, but it's all about comparison. This principle is a salesperson's best friend. Let's take a movie theater selling popcorn. They offer a small size for $3 and a large for $7. Most people, about 80%, go for the small size. They think $7 is too much for popcorn they can't finish. But what happens when the theater introduces a medium size for $6.50? Suddenly, 80% of people choose the large popcorn. Why? Because for just 50 cents more, they get a lot more popcorn. They feel like they're getting a bargain. Just by adding another option, the theater changes the customer's decision. That's the power of comparison. Here's another example. A clothing salesperson is helping a plus-size female customer. She always brings a larger size for the customer to try first, then the correct size. It might seem unnecessary, but it's a comparison technique. In a world where thin is in, many women struggle with their weight. When the customer tries on the correct size after the larger one, she feels slimmer. She's happy with the pants and more likely to buy them. By using the principle of comparison, you can subtly guide the customer to make the choice you want. It's a clever trap, but hey, it works. Third on our list is loss aversion. Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, once said, "The pain of loss greatly exceeds the pleasure of gain." In other words, we're more sensitive to what we lose than what we gain. Imagine two groups in an experiment. The first group holds $1,000 in cash. They're given two choices, A, a 50% chance to double their money to $2,000, or B, a 100% chance to increase their money to $1,500. The second group holds $2,000 in cash. They're also given two choices, C, a 50% chance to lose $1,000, or D, a 100% chance to lose $500. In the first experiment, 16% chose A and 84% chose B. In the second experiment, 69% chose C and 31% chose D. Even though B and D both result in $1,500 and A and C have a 50-50 chance of ending up with $1,000 or $2,000, the choices for A and C jumped from 16% to 69%. This shows that people are more afraid of losing $1,000 than they are hopeful of gaining $1,000. Salespeople can use this principle of loss aversion. They make customers buy their product to avoid the feeling of loss. For example, in online shopping, if you buy a product over $88, the shipping fee is free. To avoid paying the $5 shipping fee, customers end up buying more products. Time-limited promotions like Double 11, 618, etc. give customers a sense of buy now or pay more later. Besides monetary losses, salespeople can create a fear of losing opportunities or time to prompt impulse buying. For instance, many real estate agents will say that the property is almost sold out and only a few units are left. If you don't buy, someone else will. This fear of missing out on the opportunity to buy is a powerful motivator. Limited edition sneakers, watches, hats, etc. are typical examples of this. Loss aversion is a powerful driver of purchases. Salespeople who use it well can motivate customers to act quickly and buy your product. Fourth on our list is authority. We live in a society where authority is highly valued. Why? Because most of us are too lazy to think or lack confidence in our own decisions. That's where authority comes in. It gives us direction so we don't have to think. And because they're an authority, it gives customers more confidence and a shortcut to action. Here's an example. A horse trader couldn't sell his horse for 3 days straight. So he called in a respected man, had him look over the horse a few times and then walk away. He paid him for the day. As soon as the man left, he sold the horse for 10 times the price. That's the power of authority. The respected man didn't even say the horses were good, but people bought them without thinking. We see authority in sales all the time. Commercials on TV or news programs feature all sorts of experts commenting on various issues. Using authority in sales increases customer trust and favorability of the product. In short, one word from an authority is worth more than 10,000 words from an ordinary person. Salespeople can also become authorities in their field. For example, a salesperson in a medical equipment company must become an expert in medical equipment. Their words will sound more reliable, increasing the trust of doctors and naturally boosting sales. In fact, as long as your customers think of you when they face problems, you've been recognized as an authority. And that means you've successfully sold. Fifth on our list is social proof. Ever see a long line outside a restaurant and think the food there must be good? That's the principle of social proof at work. We look at the behavior of others to decide what we should do. If many people are doing the same thing, we think they must know something we don't, so we follow suit. We're more likely to believe in consensus. After all, that's how society works. The minority follows the majority. This principle is also used in sales. When shopping online, we tend to choose products with the most positive reviews. We feel more at ease and less pressured when making decisions. Car sales agents often say most successful young people are attracted to cars full of technology. This makes the customer want to be seen as successful by society, and they end up buying the car. Social proof is a powerful persuasion technique. Nothing is more persuasive than the actions of others. Simply put, if others are doing it, it must be good, right? Sixth on our list is the principle of consistency. In our culture, keeping our word and walking the talk is seen as a virtue. We don't like dealing with people who don't keep their promises. So, once we make a choice, we feel compelled to be consistent with it. We force ourselves to follow through on our promises. Our minds are always looking for evidence to prove we made the right choice. So, how do we apply this principle in sales? The first step is to turn a prospect into a customer. No matter how small the purchase, get the customer to buy something. That's when the consistency of commitment kicks in. It gets embedded in the customer's psyche and encourages them to keep buying more products. Let's use car sales as an example. The sales agent always offers the customer a lower price than their competitors. This gets the potential customer to decide to buy a car from them first. Once the customer makes the decision, they run a series of activities to increase the customer's commitment. They fill out forms, arrange loan terms, encourage the customer to test drive, and so on. This makes the customer feel like the car belongs to them. Eventually, they'll find all sorts of reasons to get the discount back, like from car accessories. In reality, the customer doesn't get a cheaper deal. But because they've already made a promise, 9 times out of 10, customers will still close the deal. Advanced salespeople know the truth. It's not about short-term profit. It's all about building commitment and trust with the customer. Once the commitment and trust is established, business will naturally follow. Last but not least, we have the principle of liking. We naturally prefer to interact with people we like. Most of us are more likely to say yes to people we know and like. Take Amway's house parties as an example of using this principle. At the start of the party, they give participants a small gift, which is the principle of reciprocity. Then, each participant introduces themselves and shares their experience with Amway products, which is commitment. Seeing so many people using Amway products creates a sense of social acceptance. But the most crucial part of the whole process is the friends of the participants. After all, the ultimate goal is to motivate their friends to make a purchase. If they weren't invited by friends or family, not many people would be interested in this type of party. That's the principle of liking. Another classic example of the liking principle in sales is inviting celebrities to endorse a product. You might wonder what a celebrity has to do with a product. The product isn't developed by celebrities, so why do businesses still find stars to endorse it? Apart from the fact that fans of celebrities love to buy the products endorsed by their idols, the general public also unconsciously associates the positive image of celebrities with the products, making them favor the endorsed products. Psychologically, the product becomes more quality-assured and convincing. By utilizing the principle of liking in sales, you can achieve more with less effort, making customers more willing to buy your products. These are the 7 principles of sales psychology. In fact, these 7 principles all revolve around building relationships, reducing uncertainty, and promoting motivation to buy. I hope you will utilize these 7 principles to enhance your sales persuasion, making customers willingly open their wallets to buy your product. Finally, this is the Dark Psychology World channel. I will also share books, life knowledge, and interesting trivia. If you like this video, you can subscribe to this channel. See you next time.